Asian by association. El Salvador, a place I had to explain. A place that drew confused faces and a barrage of questions. Central America. No, not literally the center of the United States of America. No, what you're pointing at now is Africa? Okay, so there's North America, and then there's South America, and there's a piece of land that connects them both. No, it's not just Mexico. No, not Peru, you've gone too far. But even the SBS News weather report overlooks it, so what can I expect? El Salvador. Fatty foods, failed revolutions, an 80s time warp of bad hair and bad clothes, as well as the infamous La Mara Salvatrucha gangs. You know, the facial tattoos with the teardrop down one eye and the baggy clothes? El Salvador barely makes it on the Australian news. So when there was an article in the MX paper recently, I felt a sense of pride. It was an article in celebration of the first day in 30 years that someone had not been killed by gang violence. Finally, some good news. Airport. 2 queues. I'm told to pick one. I'm heading back for the first time in 23 years and sitting next to a man with a pudgy nose. He asks me about my Australian passport. Oh, it's Australian. Australia. A place I didn't have to explain. But a title I always had to fight for. And I'd been living there for most of my life. The plane quickly drops. Turbulence. I should have spent the extra $200 on that Dhaka flight. Pudgy Nose looks at me. An Australian passport. In El Salvador, that makes you untouchable. We land amidst the thick, lush grass and coconut trees. There's no city in sight. A contrast to JFK, LA and Melbourne airports. There is one very small, very underwhelming sign in blue and white that looks like it's been taken straight out of word art. El Salvador. I look to the right of the aircraft window. There's a man wearing a cowboy hat, just calmly strolling through the grass, with a machete in one hand and a half-eaten apple on the other. The local lawnmower. Explains Pudgy Nose. All this is different to the grainy black and white photos, the British voiceover documentaries, and the rare tales told on a whim by relatives. What I see in front of me is alive. It's moving. It's constantly changing. Airport. 2 queues. I'm told to pick one. I step off the plane to be greeted by an air hostess who takes one look at my Australian passport and says, "Bienvenida, señorita Cañas." She pronounces my name right. That never happens in Australia. It's Cañas, not can-as. I have to fill out a tourist card. So I look for the nearest table and can't find one, so I head to the nearest wall instead and fish for a pen. I suddenly feel a large presence hanging over me. Laced up leather boots that reach halfway up his calf, baton on one hip, pistol on the other, a cap perfectly positioned on his head. Oh, he thinks I'm writing on the wall. I'm not graffitiing. I was trying to look for a table and I couldn't find one, so I just went to the wall. Can I see your passports? Stern, unmoving. I can't read his face. It's giving nothing away. Are you by any chance Elena Cañas? Three thoughts flashed through my mind. ASIO's put my name on the no-fly list. My passport's a fake. And someone's planted drugs in my bag. It turns out he's been sent by my uncle to look out for me. He was told to look out for an Asian. Not an Asian, a dark Asian. I guess he got it right because he found me. Airport. 2 queues. I'm told to pick one. The customs officer points to the alien queue, the Australian queue. There are 3 guys with large surfboards under their arms and an elderly couple. No one comes to El Salvador unless you're surfing or visiting family. He then points to the queue for El Salvadorians. A line 4 times as long and 4 times as slow moving. I look to the people in that line. They're short, dark, have barely any necks, and thick black hair. Just like me. I feel the sweat trickle down my back. Airport. 2 queues. I'm told to pick one.
Thank you for that beautiful performance, Tanya.